Golden Voice was the local LA promoter. And they brought both these companies and just said, put as many fucking shows as you can into the Staples Center. Other than that, just do your own thing.
So Golden Voice is primarily known right now by most people as the company that puts on Coachella. But they actually have a really interesting story with how Coachella starts and also the founder of Golden Voice.
So yeah, Golden Voice have their own interesting backstory because effectively they started out as a proper local punk promoter. So going back to the time when, yeah, we talked about it in the SFX one, it was like the Wild West, is everyone sort of talks about it. It's very early 80s, sort of, end of 70s. And people are making up their own rules. And part of the issue is, especially in the punk scene, there's lots of small underground shows, underground promoters, and there's a lot of dodgy motherfuckers that end up not paying the bands right. So this dude, I think his name was Gary Tova, he decided, I'm going to launch a punk promotion company. I'm going to put on all these badass punk shows, but I'm actually going to pay the bands. And that was like a game changer in LA and in California. So this dude becomes like this really successful, really well respected promoter because he's putting on all these mad shows. He's putting on all these like underground punk shows. He's growing with the bands and becoming a big promoter in his own right. And the big thing with the bands is that he pays them well.
And how's he getting this money?
Not through the promoting. So this is where it goes off. So basically it turns out that the reason he's able to pay the bands really well and he pays everyone properly is because he's not relying on the promotion side of things to actually make his money. He's actually one of the biggest importers of weed into California, like in the country. So he's got this like badass promotion company and he's got this badass weed business.
So this is where we're going wrong?
This is where we're going wrong, yeah, exactly. We need to do what fucking doing. The downside, obviously, of selling all the weed is eventually the DEA catch him and kick his door down and arrest him. And he's peddling so much weed, they just throw him in fucking prison. Right, and he's done.
So what happens to Golden Voice?
Golden Voice at this point is a pretty good company. So he just gifts it to two of the employees.
Doesn't ask for anything, just gives it to them.
Doesn't ask for anything. From what we can tell, he just gives it away because he actually
just wants it to keep going.
He just wants it to keep going. He genuinely loves the music. He's genuinely in the promotion business because he just loves the music.
I mean, it's obviously a passion project because that's not how he's making his money.
Yeah. So he gives it to his employees and they just carry on, right? I think the guys are still part of it. So there's one called Paul and there's one called Rick. They continue the company on and it does reasonably well. Like it keeps growing, it keeps ticking over. But they launched this festival called Coachella.
In a desert in Nevada.
First year, right, they do insanely good with the lineup. They've got Tool and Rage Against the Machine. They've got Morrissey. But it loses like $750,000. So like $750,000.
The first Coachella is just a financial loss.
Yeah, literally like sucks the life out of the company. I think it's like the Paul who founds it. He loses his house. He has to sell his car. Like they're in shit. As much as like the lineup's badass and people love it, it's just lost a fortune because the infrastructure of putting something on in the desert is actually like pretty intense and expensive. So loses a shit ton of money. The company's in peril, and that is the same sort of time that AEG starts looking, and they're like, they're in trouble. They need money.
But why would AEG want to jump in?
So basically, they split out the festival. So AEG aren't buying Coachella at this point. Like it's cut off, and the founders keep it. But the thing is, like the founders are really good promoters. They've got a really good company. They have lost a shit ton of money on this festival, but he just looks at it and goes, if I give them all the finance to put on the shows, then these are like great people that are going to put on shows.
So he's buying the connections effectively.
He's buying the connection, he's buying the work ethic, he's buying like what they can do. And you know, the thing is, like, sometimes people are just like stunted by the amount of money that they can use up front. So when he just like pumps a load of money into it, it makes it really easy for them to go to agents and go, oh yeah, actually we can do the arenas. Like, and also like, it's not just that he's giving them money to put on arena shows, he also owns the arena. So they can get any date that they want. Same with Concerts West. Like, their primary goal to start off with is fill the Staples Center. So because he's got these great promoters and he's got a shit ton of money to give them and he's got the venue, it all just works and it becomes really, really successful. We mentioned that when he brought Golden Voice, they kept that out of the deal. But although they did keep Coachella out of the deal, they then came back to it and AEG agreed to fund Coachella. And Coachella started to become successful and started to become profitable. And then they brought it back into the Golden Voice AEG.
So AEG owns Coachella right now.
Well, through Golden Voice, or as with Golden Voice, right? But they actually like funded it separately because the founders sold Golden Voice into AEG, but they kept Coachella out of it. AEG then funded Coachella separately to Golden Voice until it became successful, and then it all got brought back into the ecosphere. So it's a Golden Voice AEG thing, and that's the world's most profitable.
Coachella is the world's most profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it is crazy that they literally like, they brought a punk promoter because he went to prison and like ultimately end up with the world's most profitable festival. For a billionaire that finds oil in his garden, that's got to be a crazy thing to happen.
I mean, just a fantastic story. Like, finding oil, which most people would just be like, oh, I'm done. I'm just going to do whatever I want. Then yeah, he built a company worth 14 billion. Then he builds the second biggest promotion company, which who knows could become the first.
Has every chance.